My name is Sebastian Benavides, and this is my video for the collaborative work number 2. So I want to start with the first question, and is what does it mean to be bilingual in Colombia? In the dictionary concept or definition, it is to speak in two languages at a native level, any languages. But in Colombia, to be bilingual, it means to speak English and Spanish. So why is this happening in a country in South America, where we have so many indigenous languages, where we have so many other options as French, German, Chinese, Japanese, to learn? Well, English today is the language with the symbolic power. Bourdieu speaks a little bit about this, and he says that symbolic power is to make things with words, and English words are making things around the world, are shaping businesses, are shaping the way the countries are getting related. So English is so important nowadays, and is the language that our country, our government have adopted to be taught in Colombia. So to be bilingual in Colombia today is to speak English and Spanish. What would be the ideal scenario for a bilingual program in Colombia to be successful? A bilingual program in Colombia today, in the situation we're living, with all the corruption, the poverty, the problems with the guerrilla and all the illegal groups we have, and narco traffic also, could not be successful. So we need to do a lot of changes in it. And so for a bilingual program to be successful in our country, we need to adequate all our educational system. We need to provide structures for students in the rural areas, in the camps, in the farms, so that they can go and study. Because if we are going to teach English to everybody, we need that everybody has access to education. So if we want this bilingual program that the government has given to us to be successful, we need to open education for everybody. We need that all the children will be able to come to school, that they will have good teachers, they will have good materials, that they will have all they need in order to develop their skills in English and in other languages. Did you know that today there's around 11,000 children that are involved in the guerrilla groups, that they were recruited by the FARC, by the guerrilla, and they cannot attend school because of this? Or did you know that since this conflict started, there has been 5 million people that have been displaced from their areas to the big cities, where they have no opportunities for studies, where children have to start to work? So with all this problematic, the program will not be successful. We need to fix this. We need to make education able for everybody, and that everybody in our country will be able to go to the school to receive the education they need. That would be the way to have a successful program. Before we set the program in the country, we need to start to resolve the problems we have already. How does the armed conflict affect the education in the urban and rural areas in our country? Conflict that we have been living in our country for maybe 50 years. It's been affecting the education in different areas. For the people that lives in farms, in the camp, in the rural areas, children have lived different situations, like attacks to their towns from the guerrilla, or fightings between the army, the national army, and the guerrillas. There have been people being murdered in front of their homes. They have been affected even in their own families by the violence. And this reflects in them very violent behaviors against their classmates, their tutors, their teachers, or even their families. This is also coming to their minds, maybe while they're in classes, and like constraining them to be paying attention to the class, or lack of losing their interest for what they're learning. So this is one factor. The violence children are experiencing, this is not something normal. This is not something good for their education, for their lives. There's also many children that have been displaced from the camp, from the rural area to the big cities, to places where they need to adapt, or they don't have money, or they need to work because they don't have a house, because they don't have food, or they need to beg in the streets. So this is also a big factor that is affecting in our education, in our children. On the other hand, the structure of the schools and of the buildings for education in the rural areas is not the same as in the urban, in the cities. Why? Because the conflict is more vividly in the rural areas, where guerrilla is there, where there's bombs sometimes, where there's attacks to the towns. So this is also another factor that is affecting the education. And I think most of all that the government is investing so much money in the conflict, in the army, in the weapons, that they could, could have invested in the education in our country. So there are many factors that are affecting our education, and I think that the conflict is a big problem for all of us, of course. So we hope this will get solved soon. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you understand it, I hope you like it, I hope your opinions, your commentaries about it. And I'm looking forward to see your videos also. So thank you very much. And